Anime fighting games are lots of fun. Given that I make my video game decisions based on what sounds or looks cool, a bunch of anime characters throwing hands with flashy swords and abilities is right up my alley. One series in particular that has always stood out to me is Under Night In-Birth. With the latest incarnation of the game, Under Night In-Birth EXE Late Clear, or Uni-Clear for short, I thought this was prime time to dive into the night and see what the game has to offer. Uni-Clear does have a story. In certain places on the night of a full moon, a hollow night occurs. During a hollow night, if you are caught within, you'll enter the realm of a monstrous being called a void. If you're bitten and make it out alive, you'll be transformed into an in-birth, a person who can control the supernatural power of existence, also known as Exis. This power will take on many forms depending on the void that struck you. Otherwise, you'll end up losing your sanity and end up becoming a void yourself. I'm sure that's a bit to digest, but that's the base concept for Under Night In-Birth. Players meet Hyde, a high school student who gets mixed up in all of this, and the stories are set up for every single character's arcade mode, and it's roughly 15 hours long. It's a super cool concept, but it's totally different from the actual game itself, as this is just a visual novel with no combat. So let's get to the game itself. The combat. Uni-Clear is a 2D fighting game developed by Soft Circle French Bread, also known for their production of Melty Blood. It's a 3-button fighter utilizing light, medium, and heavy attacks with a unique grid system that adds additional depth outside of just blocking. Each motion corresponds to a particular attack, with the properties changing depending on which attack button was pressed. If you have more than half of your special meter filled, you'll use an EX version of the attack when you press the heavy attack. Outside of this, if you make successful actions like blocks, dashes, or attacks, you'll gain grid, which can be spent on force functions, unique skills for each character, or you can transfer your available grid to your special meter. However, you can lose grid just as easily as gaining it. That's just a surface level scrape at some of the mechanics the game holds, because if I were to explain them all, we'd be here all day. The tutorials will do a far better job than I ever will to break down every minute detail. Once you think you've got a good grasp, you can either head online or practice on the various single player modes like the arcade mode, score attack, time attack, and survival mode. One thing I adore about Under Night are the visuals, and Uni-Clear is no exception. In fact, it reworks a bunch of animations and all these fancy new moves. The game drips style, and I love it. It's especially evident in the new character, Londrikia, who is an especially stylish character that has all sorts of spins, flips, and strikes of ice in his moveset, all lovingly rendered in high-quality sprite animations. Now, some people may think a single character and move updates isn't worth a full price re-release. Well, apparently, neither did French Bread, as players who own a PlayStation 4 copy of Under Night In-Birth EXE Latest will actually be able to update their copies to Under Night In-Birth Uni-Clear through a combination of free and paid DLC. Under Night In-Birth EXE Late Clear is a fantastic fighting game that's easy to pick up and understand, with its simplistic yet deep tutorials that will set you up for slicing and dicing your foes in no time. It's a title that just has so much to offer in terms of style and presentation that it's tough not to have a great time while playing. Luckily for new players, this is a great entry point if you want to try out fighting games with more depth and accessibility than party games like Super Smash Bros. Noisy Pixel is giving Uni-Clear a 9 out of 10. Thank you guys so much for watching. Noisy Pixel is a group dedicated to bringing you guys the best news, reviews, previews, and more. Please subscribe if you haven't already and ring that little bell to stay up to date on all of our future content. And a few other fighting game players out there, who do you main? Because I don't play too many, and this is really fun. I'm picking up Nanase, I think. Nanase is really fun. But also Eltnum is got really fancy heavy attack. I don't know.